Congratulations, you've just found the #1 over 50 health and wellness podcast on the planet. Hello and welcome to the Over 50 Health and Wellness Show. I'm your host, Kevin English. I'm a healthy aging expert and I'm the founder of the Silver Edge, and I'm on a mission to help men and women just like you build lean, strong, healthy, capable bodies they love for the rest of their lives. Today we have a great episode lined up for you. Joining me is Monica Jacobs. She's one of our incredible Silver Edge coaches here at the Silver Edge. She's also our program director, and she's back on the show as a co-host today. In today's episode, we're diving deep into a topic that affects many of us, and that's motivation. So whether you're struggling to stay on track with your fitness goals, maybe you're finding it hard to eat right, or just feeling stuck in a rut, this episode is for you. We'll be sharing some of our top tips for keeping that motivation well full, overcoming obstacles, and staying inspired on your journey to being your healthiest, strongest self. Plus, we'll talk about embracing challenges, the importance of social support, and why falling in love with the process is the ultimate key to long-term success. So, if you're ready to get inspired and take your body and your health to the next level, stay tuned. Monica, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. I guess I got to quit calling you guests, right? You, Jess, and Russell have now been on the show enough times. You're not guests, you're co-hosts, right? You guys are now officially, you've been upgraded from guest to co-host. Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome back. What's new?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, I just had a birthday, so that was exciting.
That's right. Happy birthday. And I got to say thanks to Russell and Jess, who obviously both knew, and I was the last to know. Hello. Little help here, but happy birthday. Yeah. So did you do anything fun?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, Russell's birthday is right before mine. His was, I believe.
Christ, stop. Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm serious.
Did I miss his too? Jeez,
yes,
I'm
you
the
did.
world's worst.
I believe his birthday was Friday or Saturday, and then mine was Monday. So it's very, very close.
Well,
so we're
Russell,
both Leos.
Well, dang it. All right, Russell. Sorry, buddy. I just literally I probably recorded our last episode like on your birthday or something. Just completely missed it. Sorry, man.
I think you did.
I gotta stay better tuned here. I need your help there, Monica. You're the organizational brains behind this organization. Put that on my calendar. Everybody's birthday.
Yeah, I'll put it on your calendar.
Yeah. When is
so
Jess's?
You won't forget.
Is Jess's coming up?
Oh my! No, hers was back in April, I believe.
All right, so I missed
April
that one
or
a long time
May.
ago. Okay.
Yeah, it was in the spring.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All righty. Well, did you do anything fun for your birthday?
Not really. We were in the midst of getting ready for a tropical storm. So I never had a tropical storm for my birthday before. You know, 1st of August, you wouldn't be thinking about tropical storms. I mean, we live on the eastern coast of North Carolina, and so tropical storms and hurricanes are something we deal with every few years. And I've never had one this close to my birthday before. And then I have my college daughter who is fixing to be moving back on campus, and she had a meeting with her guidance counselor for looking ahead at classes and trying to, figure out her schedule for the next year or so this week. And she was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to get to school? Because school is 4 hours away from here. Yeah. So she packed up her car and skedaddled out of town. And so it wasn't a lot of celebration, but we still managed to do a couple fun things. So.
Good for you. Yeah, so we're right at the last tail end here of Tropical Storm Debbie rolling through. So you folks may hear a little thunder on my end or Monica's end. We're both in the Wilmington area. I'm out in the country a little bit. Monica's right smack in the middle of it. And so for those of you that don't know, we kind of started the show here saying, hey, Monica, you're a co-host. If you don't know, Monica is one of our rock star coaches here at the Silver Edge. She's also our program director. So those of you that have ever done any of our 21-day challenges or participated in any of our giveaways, or if you're in our private Facebook group, you probably know who she is. She's 100% the brains behind all of that. So, Monica, I want to start by telling you, we had that podcast episode, it's probably been close to a year ago when we had, am I going to draw a blank on their names? It was, I'm going to have to go back and edit this if I can't think about it. It was Deborah, and Juliana. Sorry, Deborah and Juliana from Give a Derm. So Give a Derm is a very, very health forward luxury beauty product line. And We, since having them on the show, have become affiliates from that for them. They're sponsors of this show. So, but I bring them up because I bought my wife their big deluxe Cadillac. I think it's called the Facial Edition set, and it's got like a little bit of everything in it. And I tell you what, one of the best moves I've ever made from a gift giving perspective.
Major husband brownie points for that, right?
Major husband brownie points. And look, I'm supposed to be the advocate for Givaderm, right? They're a sponsor. Every once in a while, you probably heard us do an ad read, and perhaps we'll have one at the beginning of the show. But I'm supposed to be the big promoter of their products. By the way, I love their products. I use their bar soap and their Pits Me Off, Pits, Pits Me Off. They'll play on words there. It's their underarm deodorant every day. But my wife is a raving fan, so anybody who meets with her, and the topic is anything to do with skincare, she's all over it. So, and if you guys aren't familiar, we love these guys because they are just about militant in their zero toxicity luxury skincare line. So that's their niche, a pretty small niche. They do this high-end, really nice. How would you explain it? Well, you use some of it, don't you, Monica? You use some of their stuff, right?
I do. Well, the whole history behind them is I get this email saying, "Hey, we're this skincare company. We make
mother-daughter
Yeah,
duo,
it's a mother-daughter team."
Yeah.
And they have a whole really interesting backstory and the whole reason why they developed this whole skincare line. But we're like, hey, we think that we could have a good partnership between our two companies. And so that immediately, usually I get emails like that. I'm like, trash. I'm like, let me look them up. So I looked up online onto their website and started looking through their products. I'm like, wait a minute, this skincare line looks awesome.
It's legit.
They have no synthetic ingredients in there.
Zero.
They don't have a lot of fragrances. Don't get me started on fragrances because there's so many hormone disruptors, endocrine disruptors, things that are not really good for you that is in so many skincare products nowadays. And they didn't have any of that in their products.
None.
And one of the products that really drew me in is they had a clay cleanser. So if anybody out there is like, I'm a total geek when it comes to skincare products, and I have so many skincare products and stuff. But I looked at that and went, clay is really, really good for your skin because it draws out impurities. And so many skincare products nowadays are not using clay in their products anymore. I guess it's just gone out of vogue or fashion to have like natural ingredients like that. So I think we should talk with these ladies. And so I set up a Zoom meeting with all four of us. And they were like, hey, let me give you a few products to try. And so they sent Kevin and I a few things. And I use their clay cleanser, and it is amazing. I love their cleanser. I use it every single day. In fact, I just ran out, and I need to buy some more.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to get the kit that Tara got to get the whole
get that facial edition.
spiel.
Yeah. Tara's actually giving me a list of the things she needs refills on because she didn't use them all up at the same time. Yeah. And here's the funny thing. What made me think of it is we're ordering one for Emma, for my daughter. So I got a 21-year-old daughter who's also very into that zero toxicity skincare. And look, I mean, whole body health starts with your skin and your mouth. And it's funny. Absolutely. I was thinking about it we've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 sponsors that we have these affiliate partnerships with. And what that means is if you use our coupon code or buy through our link, they throw us put a couple shekels in the bank for us. And they're all people that we align with. We're not, like Monica said, we get a ton of offers. Hey, we want you to rep our activewear brand. And I don't really have any affiliation with you. I don't think so. But I was looking through there, and it's kind of funny. Of the half a dozen partners we have, 3 of them are hygiene. So we have the dental detox, right? We have that one. We have Living Libations, which I came into this business being a fan of. I think I've told that story way back when.
You turned me into a fan of theirs.
Oh, I love my Living Libations. And look, they have the Maverick men's section. It's pretty small. Most of their stuff's for the ladies. And same thing with Givaderm, right? Very much more, although they the soap and the deodorant are unisex. They're very targeted at kind of that high-end women.
I think that, they're more targeted at women. But they absolutely are unisex as far as their fragrances and I would say probably 50% of their products is pretty unisex.
Yeah. Well, here's what we'll leave it at this. Didn't mean to make this long of a segment, but I will say this. So all the guys listening out here, if you want some serious brownie points, go to Givaderm, and I'm saying give Give Derm DERM, like derm, like your skin, right? Givaderm.com, and scroll down until you find their, I think it's called the facial edition system. You'll know which one it is because it's the most expensive. Actually, I think it's on sale right now. And if you use Silver Edge at checkout, so Silver Edge all run together as your coupon code, you'll save 10% off your first order. And I think you can stack that on top of the sale price. But just to give you a heads up, it's like $300. I think it's like regularly $350 and it's on sale for $299 or something like that. Don't quote me, but it's in that ballpark.
Yeah,
so just brace yourself.
That's what the price is you get like five of their things though in that facial edition system. I just looked it up here.
Facial edition system. All right. Yeah.
Facial edition, but you get 5 of their products, including the clay cleanser that I really like.
Very good.
And I just can't say enough about it. And I have very, very sensitive skin. I have my entire life. I have very dry, very sensitive skin. There's a lot of products and facial products and cosmetic products that I cannot use because they will break my skin out. I'm prone to get eczema and that'll get that flared up and stuff. Every product I've ever used from Givaderm has not bothered my skin at all, period. Yeah. And that is gold star rating coming from my skin.
There you go. All right. So here's our call to action. Guys, get your lady one of these kits. I promise you, you won't be sorry. And ladies, if your man won't get you one, kick him to the curb. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
Right.
And buy one for yourself.
My husband will be buying one. He just doesn't know about it yet.
So Philip's buying you one. He just doesn't know. There you go.
Philip's buying me one. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And folks, if you're interested in that, I'll put the links to all of that, as well as the interview that we originally did with the mother-daughter team with Deborah and Juliana there. If you want to go back and listen to that, that'll be in the show notes. Let's see. This is episode 295. So it'll be at silveredgefitness.com/295. You guys can check that out there. So, Monica.
Episode 295? Oh my gosh, there's so many podcasts.
295 episodes. That's right.
Believe.
That's a lot of episodes.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, we're going to hit 300 here pretty soon.
Wow. Yeah. We need like a celebration for our 300th episode.
Yeah, we have to do something fun. Maybe we'll get you, Jess, and Russell all on the show.
We should get all 4 of us together on an episode and do all 4 of us together.
All right, yeah, maybe we'll tell our backstories.
That would be a really good
coaching
one.
Or something fun. All right, yeah, we'll do something fun for 300.
Yeah.
And then we'll push on and do something fun when we hit 500. That'll be a big milestone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
All right, well, Monica, I have to say that I haven't always been motivated to do my podcasts, but I've managed to get them all done. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about motivation. Here, let me set the stage why specifically this topic now. We've talked about motivation here and there, and I'm certainly in my email list, I've addressed it. In fact, the email that went out this morning, which for you people listening to this will be last week, I suppose, was around motivation as well. I just wrote a kind of an ebook, a longer guide on motivation. But here's what happens. When people come into our private Facebook group, they're asked a series of 3 questions. I think it's like, why do you want to join this group? Do you want to lose weight, build muscle? What's important to you? I can't remember what the other one is. Maybe how old are you? Something like that. And then the other question is, what's the biggest obstacle preventing you from reaching your goals? Whatever it is, right? I want to lose weight. I want to build muscle. I want to tone up. I want to be more mobile, functional, faster, whatever. And wouldn't you know it, I went back and I took the last 100 responses to that question because I just want to do a little market research. What are these people? What are they? Because I'm looking for ideas, right? What should I talk about on podcasts? What should I write in my email list? And wouldn't you know it, far and away, the number one thing, and this really surprised me, is some variation of lack of motivation. I don't have the motivation. And if I combine that with I lack determination, I lack willpower, something along those lines, which are related, it's the vast majority. It's like 70% of the responses fall into that bucket. So that being said, I thought this would be a really good excuse for us to give some of our best motivation tips. So let's talk about motivation. You want to start? Let's kick us off here. Conversation about motivation?
I'm not really surprised that answer is what we see most often from people just coming in cold traffic off from the Facebook group, because it totally is a big, huge obstacle that so many people are facing today. And a lot of our clients, when they first come to us for one-on-one coaching, that's one of the things that we talk about in our first meeting is what's preventing you right now? What is your motivation or lack of motivation for getting yourself healthy? But I think to start off, we need to think about what is motivation. Now, like, what is the definition of motivation? Motivation is the energy that drives you to complete a task or a behavior. That's what the dictionary definition of it is. But it's kind of like the wind in your sails. What pushes you to reach your goals? Now, further going into motivation a little bit more, there's really two kinds of motivation. You have extrinsic, which is external factors that motivate you to do things. So this is maybe getting a paycheck from doing a job. That would be extrinsic. You could also have negative external factors, like if you don't show up to that job, you might get fired. Then you're not going to have a paycheck for the job. Right? So those drive your behaviors in certain ways. I mean, you want to get that paycheck, so you're going to get up in the morning and get to work on time, so you won't be fired. The flip side of that is intrinsic motivation. And so these are like internal factors that inspire you. So maybe if you do a job that really, you really kind of line up with your values, things that, like, if you have a job that's kind of finding your calling. Like I think that one of my callings was going through my own wellness journey, and then now I get to help other people on their wellness journeys. So that to me is very fulfilling. So
it's
that's
intrinsically
kind of
motivating is what you're saying.
Intrinsically motivated.
Right.
Yes. So those are the two pieces of motivation, whether they're extrinsic or intrinsic.
Well,
both of these have their place. The extrinsic one, the job keeps you a paycheck, every week into the bank. It keeps a roof over your head. It, allows you to buy groceries on the weekends, and things like that. Intrinsic, is how you feel inside. What's motivating you to do things for you.
Yeah. Okay. I love that distinction. I love that we started there. So if I bring that into our world, the coaching world, in the health, fitness, nutrition space, then we could say somebody who is, say, a client or a prospective client who is extrinsically motivated, maybe is somebody who's there because their spouse wants them to, or because their doctor told them, hey, I was going to say,
their doctor's like, hey, we had this medical test that came back with this.
Right.
So you need to start doing this.
You need to start doing this. That's extrinsic motivation versus the person who comes in and we say, hey, why do you want to do this? And they're trying to articulate something along the lines, well, hey, I want to be able to get down on I've got grandchildren. I want to be able to play with them. I want to wrestle. I want to be able to travel and really get the most out of this part of my life. That's more that intrinsic motivation. So I like that we started this, that there's these two different kinds of motivation. And you can probably already tell just from that definition and those examples, which one of those we're going to really add the most weight to, which one of those we're really going to want to foster, right? Because like a lot of things in life, your motivation is, well, first, it's a fickle friend. We've all had that similar experience of being very motivated and excited to starting something, and then that motivation kind of quickly wanes. And certainly a diet, a workout program that you're not wholly bought into, you can see how that might happen. Oh, I'm excited. Let's put it this way. See if you can relate to this. When you're somebody who wants to lose weight, they get very excited. Let's say it's January 1st. Okay, this is it. This is my year. I'm really excited. We see that the gyms are packed in that first month or first 3 weeks or so of the year. These people are motivated. They're excited. It's fun. It's something different. They're serious this time. They're counting their calories or doing whatever on whatever kind of diet. They joined a diet program. And then they all fall off suddenly. And when you ask them why, they just, I lost motivation. But there's a bunch of things happening there. They were probably externally motivated by this desire to lose weight. They didn't really know their why. They didn't really have this deep sense of purpose in what they were doing. But maybe they were relying on that feeling, that fleeting feeling of motivation. And motivation, I like to think of it like a well. There's just a little bit of water at the bottom of this motivation well. And every time we dip out of it, that's wonderful, and we should drink from it, but we have to replenish it. Because if we just keep pulling water out of our motivation well, it's going to run dry quickly. And then when we go and lower the bucket down, it just comes back empty, and there you go. So that being the case, I'd love to just kind of talk about some tips for motivation. We haven't done a whole podcast on motivation because, frankly, motivation is not enough to keep you going. And we're going to tie this into willpower and determination. That's not enough to keep you going. If you want to build a lean, healthy, strong, capable body that you love for the rest of your life, you're going to need some tools other than motivation and willpower. Now, you're going to need both of those things, and you should have both of those things on that journey, but you're going to need more than that. So let's talk about some tips for how we might kind of keep that motivation well, keep some water in that motivation well, so to speak. Yeah. What you got for us?
Actually, you already said my number one tip.
I know.
I
know I did. I didn't mean to say it.
The most important one.
Yes, it is. The
you
most
already
important
said it.
Yes.
It's finding your why.
Yes, it is.
Why is this important for you? And, a lot of my new clients are coming with me right now. Their biggest why is because they're seeing their aging parents and they don't want to turn into that.
Yep. See it all the time.
They have an aging parent who has lost mobility. They're not able to do things on their own anymore. They're having to put them into homes, because they cannot physically care for them. They see their parents turn into unable to do anything for themselves anymore. It's almost like they're reverting to children. And that's a lot of people's whys, is that they want to age well. They want to be able to go to the bathroom by themselves for as long as they possibly can.
Yes, ma'am.
But a lot of people also have a why of, like you already said, playing with grandchildren. I have one of my clients right now. She has a granddaughter, and the granddaughter's about a year old, so she's just now starting to walk. But even being an infant, there would be times where she would have her on the floor and is playing with her, when the infant's sitting up and things. And she wants to be able to sit on the floor and play with her granddaughter. That was a huge why for her. And you know what? She's doing it now.
Right on. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
That is a big one. In fact, Monica, we both came out of the precision nutrition training for that was one of my nutrition certs. I know you did the same one, and they're very much a behavior change approach to weight management, right? Let's just call it that. Yeah. So it's a nutrition certification for nutrition coaches. But one of the things they pound is know your why, and they have this concept of the 5 whys, right? So you might ask somebody, why do you want to lose weight? And they say, oh, well, I want to look better. And you say, okay, well, why is that important to you? Well, I feel uncomfortable, taking my shirt off at the pool. Well, why does that make you feel uncomfortable? And then now we're getting somewhere, right? As opposed to I want to lose 20 pounds. Really now all of a sudden I'm starting to dig this insecurity. And then, what would your life look like if you just magically lost 20 pounds? What would be different? What would you be able to do that you can't do now? How do you see yourself? And just going through this kind of an exploration, a self-exploration is really, really helpful for those mornings when you don't want to get up and go to the gym. That's rainy and it's cold out. For the weekends when you'd much rather go out and have a few drinks and stay out late. Not to say that any of those things are off limits, but certainly they can't be the norm. So I think knowing your why is absolutely should be the top of the list for
top of my list.
Know your why. And remind yourself. Right?
Yes.
Remember
you have
why
to remind
you're doing
yourself.
This.
Yeah. That's how I love that analogy made of motivation is a well. And you dip out of it, but you got to replenish it. Yeah. That's how you're replenishing it, is remembering why that's so important for you.
Because here's the deal.
I think the second one is creating a positive environment for yourself. And that's kind of setting yourself, helping yourself set up yourself for success, surrounding yourself with positivity and with people who have like goals with you. Like if your spouse or significant other is one who stays up late every night, has an alcoholic drink every night, there's nothing wrong with those things, doesn't exercise, doesn't like vegetables. No offense, Kevin.
Guilty.
But, you see what I mean. Yeah. And then you're trying to go to bed earlier, trying to get to the gym every morning before work, you're trying to incorporate more vegetables into your everyday meals, it's harder to live and have and stay on your track for wellness and be motivated for it if you don't have that positive environment. Now, if you do, and you are lucky enough to have a spouse or significant other or children who are like, yeah, I'm ready to help you with this and will support you through it, that will give you a lot more motivation and carry you so much further. Just having that supportive environment there.
I love that. I hadn't thought about considering it in those terms. I was thinking more having support, which is kind of saying the same thing, especially social support. And you bring up the number one. It can be intimidating for one partner when the other one decides to get healthy, but the partner one's not ready to make that commitment yet. And that can be a tough place to negotiate, right? Because we can have the partner who's not ready, he may be feeling insecure and maybe wondering, well, what happens if my partner loses all this weight and is looking great, feeling great, and am I going to be left behind, and will he or she still find me attractive? I mean, all these kinds of thoughts might go through somebody's head. Right. Then on the flip side, if you're the person making the change, you might feel a little bad, and it's and it not to mention it can be difficult, right? Because we've had clients that are making 2 meals in their house. They're making one meal for their family or their spouse and another meal for themselves, and that's a tough row to hoe for long term.
That gets unmotivating very quickly.
It gets unmotivating very quickly. Yeah.
But those two things I think are things that you need to have in place before you even start anything. You need to know your why, create that positive environment before you start a wellness journey. You will have a lot more success.
Sure will. Yeah.
Before you ever start exercising, before you ever start cutting back sugar, sleeping more, whatever it is. Have those two things right off the bat.
Yeah. That is very good advice. I think also kind of going back to your know your why, I like to tell people also just to remember the big picture. Again, that why, because what often happens where motivation will fail us very often is it is very easy. Look, I'm a nutrition nerd. I'm a workout fanatic. I love working out and eating healthy, but I still fall prey to this sometimes. It is so easy for us to get caught up in the temptation of the moment as opposed to what I want long term. So what I want long term is to be strong, healthy, vital, vibrant, and just be a badass, right? And to age in a very healthy manner. But what I want right now might not serve that. So I think, again, keeping that, knowing your why, but also just understanding that bigger picture. Yeah, I can have a cookie, and from time to time, I most certainly do have cookies. In fact, I just made a post on social media this week about I want to be lean, strong, healthy, fit, but I also want to eat bacon cheeseburgers. And guess what? I eat bacon cheeseburgers. I eat them fairly frequently. There's something that I love. It brings a lot of joy into my life. And, you could say, hey, if I'm eating 85% or 93% lean ground beef, that's fine. But I'm having bacon. I'm having cheese. I'm having, and not some kind of gluten-free healthy bun either. I'm getting a good old Pepperidge Farm bun on there. And I'm having my cheeseburger. It could be desserts. It could be chips. It could be the occasional glass of wine. But so these are things that I'm not saying that we should eliminate, far from that. But they're things that might not serve us, because I'll have somebody say, hey, have this or do this or do that, and then when I choose not to do that, they're like, oh, well, it must suck being you, right? To be, not to be able to do that. No, I could choose whatever I want, but what I'm choosing,
I think it's a matter of choice. You're choosing. Yes, sometimes you choose to do it, sometimes you don't.
Right, but I'm making these choices based on my future self, not my present hedonistic need. So I think that's another factor that we can bring in, and it's a little bit of discipline and a little bit of motivation there. It's just understanding what I want now and what I want long term. What's more important? It's really easy to lose that perspective. So just remembering that bigger picture. Hey, what I'm building here is, like you said, I don't want to be like my very frail, decrepit parents. I don't want to end up in a home. And during this time of my life, my kids are gone. I'd like to be healthy enough to go out and do stuff. So just remember that bigger picture is a big one. Yeah. What else you got?
So you'll like the next one. Practice gratitude.
Oh,
So just
I like that
reflecting
one.
back
Yeah.
on, I know
Yeah.
you're big on this. You're a
on
big
gratitude.
gratitude person.
Yes, I
So
am.
just reflecting back on what you're grateful for. What have you been able to accomplish? You get that positive mindset. You are motivated to do this, and kind of rewarding yourself. Here you go. Occasionally I will have a bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah.
Occasionally, my son's birthday was also last week, so his is just a couple days before mine. So I made his favorite is like this mocha fudge brownie thing, and oh my gosh, it's so delicious. And yes, I had 2 pieces of it.
Heck yeah.
Not the same day, but heck yeah, I'm going to have a piece of that, and I'm going to enjoy every single bite.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had anything sweet since then. No, just practice gratitude, reflect back on where you have come. And I don't think people do that enough. They have the goal of way far out in the distance. They don't have a goal that's right here. That maybe they're meeting that daily goal every day.
Right.
And I'm really grateful that I'm able to do this every day.
Yeah, I obviously, how I feel about gratitude. I've talked about it here on the show quite a bit. One of the things that is one of my habits is I bless everything before I eat it. And it's an interesting practice because it causes me to slow down. And I'm kind of a fast-paced kind of guy naturally, but it causes me to slow down. It causes me to be grateful. And the other thing is it causes me to actually look and be present with my food. And, I'm blessing this food, asking that it nourish my body. If I'm eating a handful of Skittles or M&Ms or a Twinkie or a Pop-Tart, it's kind of hard to say, hey, please bless this to nourish my body, because that's not really what that food is doing. It is nourishing a pleasure center in my brain, but it's not nourishing my body, right? So I love that, being grateful. And when you think about it, food is we don't live without food. We don't live without our bodies. So movement, being grateful for your body, this sacred vessel that carries you through life, and being grateful for the food that nourishes that sacred vessel. I absolutely love that. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I didn't have gratitude because it's on all my lists. For some reason, I didn't have that on my motivation list. So I'm glad you brought that one up. Yeah.
You probably have the next one.
Yeah. So the next one is, and I think we alluded to this, but it's celebrate the wins. And I mean, all of the wins, even the little wins every day. Yes. And I guess that ties in a little bit with gratitude, right? But just celebrating these wins and just realizing that you're making progress, because even small, tiny progress made steadily over time can have a huge impact on your health, on your physique, on your state of mind, all of that. So I think a lot of us, we just kind of woo-woo and maybe don't consider patting ourselves on the back, giving ourselves I like to say, a non-food treat. So buy yourself a new, when you hit an important milestone, buy yourself some new gym shoes or gym outfit, or treat yourself to a spa day. Do nice things for yourself, but also just take the time to celebrate the wins. I got through this day, and Monica told me I had to drink 100 ounces of water, and by golly, I did it. Well, celebrate it. That's amazing, right? You did something that was serving your body, serving your health.
Yeah. Well, the next one I have is kind of ties in with that one, is set yourself some deadlines. Assign some specific deadlines to whatever your goals are. Now, I say that with a caveat. If your ultimate goal is to lose 100 pounds, you're not going to lose 100 pounds all at once. You're going to lose 100 pounds, 5 pounds at a time. 5 pounds. All those add up. So celebrate those small goals, and really look at that one goal. Once you accomplish that, go to the next one. Yeah. So small goals lead up to big goals.
Yes, they do. I've heard it put this way: small hinges open big doors.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, I thought that was very well said. But yeah, I love that, having these small goals. If you have a big goal, like you said, I have a weight loss goal, but then breaking that down into maybe I have a year-long goal. I'm going to break that down into quarters. I'm going to break those quarters down into months. I'm going to break those months down into weeks. I'm going to break those weeks into what do I do every day to become this version that I want to be, this future self. I think it's really important. It ties really well into my next tip, which are the SMART goals. So let's see if I get this right. We have SMART, it's an acronym, SMART. They are specific. They are measurable, SMA. They are achievable. They are relevant, and they are timely, time-bound. Yes. So basically, as opposed to saying, I want to lose some weight, or even I want to lose 100 pounds, we'll say, hey, in the next month, I want to lose 5 pounds, right? So it's time-bound, it's measurable, it's specific, it's achievable, and it's relevant to your overall goal. But those SMART goals get tossed around a lot in productivity circles. You may have, if you work in a corporate environment, that's probably come up at some time. But I think they're really relevant for health and wellness goals as well. A good
100%.
framework for thinking of, that roadmap. I want to get from here to there. Well, let me put these parameters there. Are they specific? Are they measurable? Or is it achievable and reasonable? Is it relevant? Is this activity that I'm stating as a part of my goal, is it relevant to me getting there, or is my sidetracking myself? And does it have a time frame associated with it?
Yeah. Oh, I love that SMART goals. And I use that with my clients a lot.
Sure, same.
And a lot. And something else I tell my clients is that we're looking at trying to achieve 1% better every single day.
Yeah, James
That's
Clear,
a small, James Clear. Oh my gosh, my favorite. Hang on, I've got it.
You have it right there. Yeah,
I have it right here at the
folks
edge
that don't
of my
know,
desk.
we're talking about Atomic Habits, the book by James Clear. Yep.
If you have not read this book by James Clear, please go buy it on Amazon today. One of my very favorites.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend it. But he says in there, and it's one of the first pages in the book, and I have it highlighted and tagged in there. And it's if you're looking to get 1% better every day for a year, you're like 1,000 times better by the end of the year.
Sure.
But if you decrease by 1% every day, then you will decrease down nearly to zero.
Yeah.
And
there's this exponential effect to doing those small habits every single day.
Yes.
And for folks that maybe have been in one of our 21-day challenges or have gone through our group coaching, or even folks, our one-on-one clients, your first couple of months with us, really what we're doing is we're practicing healthy habits. We're getting in the habit of practicing healthy habits. So you may have a step goal for day one, and then you might have a hydration goal. You might have a protein goal, and you're just practicing these every single day. You got a sleep goal. We have these, they're just boring, small, healthy habits. But when they become habits, when we say, okay, now, I'm going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, and I'm drinking half my body weight in ounces in water, and I'm hitting my ideal body weight in grams of protein every day. When you start stringing these things together, you start getting some really spectacular results. So,
absolutely. All of those, because all of those things are 1%ers.
They're 1%ers.
1%. But if you do all those things every day, okay, that's 5%. If you do all those things over a week.
It's more than just 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 4 or 5 or how many ones I said. It's almost a case of 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 10, right? There's this, it seems there's this compounding exponential effect when you start stacking these healthy habits one on top of the other. So I start maybe by walking. I start by knocking out some processed foods. I start by bumping up my protein. Okay, now I'm 3 weeks in. Then I get some water in me, and I start strength training, and I'm bumping up my protein, and I'm cleaning up my diet a little bit more, and now I'm 8 weeks in, and all of a sudden I'm really starting to get these amazing health returns on these small changes that I've made over time. Mm-hmm. I think that gets lost a lot of times. People, the typical mentality is, hey, I'm all in on this diet. Let's go. What are we doing?
Right.
1,000 calories a day, I'm on it. All right, treadmill 5 days a week, I'll do 6. Let's go. And then they wonder why it works until it doesn't, and then lo and behold, 6 months later, they're right back where they started from, only in a worse place metabolically, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that when we first get clients in, they're expecting for us to throw our hardest thing at them. Give me the hardest thing. I'm so motivated. Give me give it all to me. And then I'm just like, okay, I want you to drink half your body weight in ounces of water a week. Go.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, right. We're going to bump up your protein a little bit.
Wait,
they're like, okay, wait.
Is that all? Oh, I thought you were going to tell me something hard to do.
Yeah.
No, we've got to set these basic, everyday, supposedly boring habits every day.
Yeah.
1% better every day.
It's kind of funny because then, you don't need motivation because I'm guessing everybody gets up and brushes their teeth in the morning. You're not motivated to do that. It's just a habit. You wash your dishes, you do your laundry, you clean the house, you go to work.
All habits.
These are all things that have become habits, right? And they serve you. It doesn't matter if you're motivated or not motivated. And for the most part, it doesn't even really, you're not really tapping into a whole lot of willpower or determination to make your bed or brush your teeth or wash the dishes, right? Yeah. So as these things become habitual in your life, I feel like that really does help, so that you're not constantly going back to the motivation. Well, I have to feel motivated in order to eat healthy. I have to feel motivated in order to go to the gym today. So, yep, love it.
Very, very, very true. All right. The next one I have on my list here, you'll like this one. Embrace challenges.
Ooh, yes,
so
I do like that one.
See challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as an obstacle.
Right.
This is going to boost your motivation to overcome the challenges.
Yeah, okay. I want to dig into this a little bit because I love this. I feel there is an intersection between I feel there's a relationship between motivation and willpower, or motivation, grit, determination, whatever you want to call it. So basically, I look at it this way. It's almost like a flywheel or a cycle. We're motivated to do this thing. And for our purposes, let's say go on a diet, right? It's what we talk about all the time. You're motivated to go on a diet. You go on a diet. The first week, 2 weeks, it's probably fun. The scale's going down. You're doing something new. You're investing in yourself. You're motivated. But then week 3 or 4, this gets hard and the progress slows. Yeah. So now we need to tap into a different well. Right next to the motivation well is another well, and doesn't have a whole lot of water in it either, but that's your grit and determination well. So let's leave the motivation well because it's kind of empty right now. And let's go over here to the determination and the willpower. Let's wheel up some of that, and let's let that get us through the next couple of weeks. All right, so now we've drained out our motivation well. We've drained our determination and willpower well. But what's happened now is we've gone long enough, maybe we're 6 weeks into this journey, we're starting to see some results. People are starting to comment and say, hey, you look great. What are you doing? Have you lost weight? We're starting to put on a pair of pants. You're like, oh, these feel kind of loose. I need another notch on my belt. So you're starting to have more energy. You don't have that mid-afternoon crash anymore. You're sleeping better. Your mood's improved. So as we start to get this positive feedback, that starts to refill that motivation well. Then you're motivated again. Oh, okay, well, now maybe I'll go from 2 days a week to 3 days a week at the gym. And same thing. And now I'm motivated because I'm excited. I'm doing this thing. Well, a couple of weeks later, that motivation kind of dies down, but it's cold, it's rainy. So now I go back to my willpower determination well, and I dip a little water out of there and I make it through that. And next thing I know, I see a friend I hadn't seen in a while. And I say, hey, Gab, you look pretty buff, man. You hitting the gym? And pow, just like that, my motivation and willpower wells are topped off to the top. And I feel like that's cyclical. And if we can just get people in a healthy manner, which is, by the way, not crash dieting and being a slave to the treadmill for 7 days a week, that's not what we're talking about here. But if we have a well thought out plan and we can stick to it long enough, I feel like the results from that will go a long ways towards refilling motivation and keeping people motivated. It's what's kept me motivated for over a decade of this, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, and like you say, if thinking about those wells again, that motivation well, it dries out all of a sudden. It's like, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Then you got to go to that grit and determination one. But there's where, like, embracing a challenge, and that's where that grit and determination.
That's what made me thought about it. Yeah,
really
try hard things. Yes, do hard things.
Yeah, really comes into play. Well, this next one ties in.
Well, hang on before you go to your next one, because I just want to make one last point here.
Okay.
Because you're talking about doing challenges, doing hard things. People are like, that doesn't sound like much fun by definition. But the sense of accomplishment that comes from doing hard things is motivating. There is no growth without doing hard things, and growth is usually motivating. So I just wanted to point that out. When you say challenge yourself, do hard things, get outside your comfort zones, all things I'm a huge fan of, by the way. That's where growth happens. That's where self-development happens. And while it might not be fun, and you might have to really dig deep into that willpower discipline well to get through that, the rewards are fantastic, and they will 100% fill back up those wells.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, the next one, track your progress.
Yes.
Keep a journal, keep something on your cell phone. If you're walking farther every day, if you're lifting more weights in the gym, if you're doing more reps, if this exercise, you couldn't do it previously, but now you can. All of those things are progress. See how far you have come.
Yeah.
So track your progress as you're going through.
Absolutely love it.
And that's so self-motivating.
It is. It is. I've had many of our clients, and in fact, I'll occasionally have these little texts back and forth with our clients. So we use an app, and one of the fun things is it's got all of our clients' workouts, some nutrition information stuff's in there, but all their workouts are in there. So all their workout history. So every time they do, say, a bench press, they can look back and see every time they've ever done it, how much weight they've done it, what their rest periods were, and how many reps they did, all that stuff, right? But at the end of not every workout, but at the end of some of the workouts, you get this, anytime you hit a PR or a personal record, a personal best, it congratulates you. But at the end, it'll often have this little, have you seen this, Monica, where it says, congratulations, you lifted 10 narwhals today. And it's got a fun picture of a narwhal. And it says, the average narwhal weighs 2 tons. Congratulations, you lifted 10 and a half of these today. Or it can be silly ones too. You lifted 1,000 corgis. The little dog corgis, I've had that one pop up. Yeah. Or Labrador retrievers or bunkies. The average chimpanzee weighs 200 pounds. You lifted 500, whatever, right? But these are all, it's ways of motivating yourself. And again, celebrating those small wins. You were in the gym today. You worked hard. Look, you lifted 10 narwhals or 100 corgis or whatever it is.
Absolutely. I do this with myself. Because at the end of a heavy workout, I'll go through, because I'm a nerdy math person at heart, and I'll go through there and actually calculate how much weight did I move today? How much weight did I do on my back squat and on my thrusters and my arm hammer curls that I did today? So I'll go through and calculate how much weight did I move. Mm-hmm. Just, so you can take just your reps as a pat on the back.
Reps times your your weight is going to equal that, and times sets, of course, will equal your total volume. And you can look at that, and that number is very handy to know. Actually, if you're serious about strength gains, right, you can just look at that number.
Actually, it really is.
Is it going up or is it stagnant or is it going down?
Right.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've hit on this next one, but as a bit of an introvert and sometimes a loner, this one's a little late in the game, but I really love having social support. We talked about it kind of, partnering in it with you, but just a community. And so for me, one of the reasons I started this podcast is I didn't see other 50-year-olds like me that were really, really on fire and excited about being healthy and as healthy as you could be, not just not sick, but being optimally healthy. Now, it turns out there's millions of very healthy, optimally healthy older people in the world. I didn't know that at the time. So I started a podcast to talk about it. But having a support system, whether that's a Facebook group, whether that's a friend group, whether it's your gym buddy, whether it's your partner, whether it's your kids or siblings, whatever it is, but having that social support that is on board with what you're doing. Because not everybody understands, right, that you get joy from this, that this is, there's joy in the suffering even, and that it's a lifestyle, and having people that speak that same language and can lift you up and can celebrate your wins with you and to pat you on the back when you're down and give you a kick in the butt when you need it is really, really important. I have really come to believe that having a good social support network is absolutely crucial for just long-term staying motivated and staying in the game.
Yes, 100%. And I tell my clients a lot of times, if they're having problems finding motivation to get into the gym, I tell them, find a workout buddy. Find somebody who's going to be in the gym when you're working out. Maybe they can actually do a class with you, do the same workout with you. Because there's nothing more motivating than when you don't show up and your friend is texting you, hey, where are you at? Yeah. Where are you at? You're not in the gym
accountability.
today.
Yeah.
Accountability. Built-in accountability and motivation to keep going. You're both on this journey to get strong. That is so, so, so important. I do that myself. If I don't show up in the gym for my 7:30 class, there's going to be 3 people texting me. Where are you at, girl? You're not in the gym today. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Powerful motivation.
Yeah. Find you a group.
Absolutely.
In person is best, but if that's tough for you, maybe you're in a rural place or people around you are on different paths, then get you a virtual support group. Plenty of them out there.
One of my long-term clients, she did that with her daughter. So her daughter lives like the next town over. It's just far enough away where they couldn't exercise together. So what they started doing is texting each other every morning when they were going to the gym to do their workouts. And so they're both going in there at the same time together, mother and daughter, getting strong together. And I was like, oh my gosh, Cindy, that's awesome. I love that motivation that they're doing it together. Yeah, so she found her own workout partner, even though she was doing actually our workouts. So she was just, doing her workout on her cell phone and just in a, not a class gym. It's just an open gym type thing. But yeah, that's how she found her motivation. Her workout partner.
Love it.
Was her daughter. Yeah. The next one, I'll just read it to you. Stay inspired by role models. Study the lives and journeys of other people who have inspired you. Maybe, for myself, I like to do CrossFit. And so actually the CrossFit games, everybody sees them on YouTube, and you see these wonderfully athletic people who are like professional exercisers, and they're doing this incredible workouts. And they're so motivating to see these people of all ages, because they have age categories. It's not just 20-year-olds. They have 50 and 60 and 70-year-olds in there doing these crazy workouts that are just incredibly motivating to watch them. But, study the lives and things of other people, and maybe not just about exercise. Maybe it's about mindset, and maybe it's about nutrition. Maybe it's about just losing weight. Maybe it's about turning their life around in other ways. But being inspired by these people.
That's a great one. Yeah, I hadn't considered that either, but it's something I do. I love YouTube's great for inspirational videos, especially if you're into any kind of a sport, or like Monica said, a competitive working out and CrossFit. Some of those, they actually have workout motivation videos designed to basically just to fill that well up, that motivation well. Looking up to people. Social media is great for that, right? I follow a lot of accounts that are inspiring to me, and while I do follow other accounts that are basically the exact opposite of the way that my personal philosophy, I do that just so I can be aware of what other people think. And who knows, somebody might say something that changes my mind. That's how we grow, right? Is by admitting we're wrong about something. But I really like to follow mentors and people that are out ahead of me. So that could be in business, that could be in fitness, that could be in all sorts of places, but they inspire me, right? These are people who are doing amazing things. It's why why some of us really love sports, or maybe your thing is I really love Taylor Swift or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We look up to people, we admire people, they inspire us, right? I think that's the whole gig of the Olympics. We're inspired by what the human body and the human spirit is capable of.
Yes.
And it inspires us, right? I'm a pretty normal dude. I'm not going to do any of those things that those Olympians are doing, at least not at that level, but it's inspiring to me. So I think that's a great one, is looking up to people for inspiration and motivation.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, the next one I have on my list is stay flexible. Be adaptable and open to changes, because circumstances have changed, your goals may change, and be flexible. If maybe your goal is, I'm going to want to do 10 strict pull-ups. Well, maybe you have a shoulder injury that's going to set you back a little bit. Maybe instead you're going to work on rehabbing your shoulder, or maybe you're going to work on 10 strict push-ups instead of 10 strict pull-ups first. But stay flexible for your goals. Don't be so rigid on yourself and make that goal unachievable.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I think that falls back into that all or nothing thinking too. Yeah, that's a slippery slope that, if I can't do this, then what the heck, it's just might as well just forget the whole thing, right? So being flexible, absolutely love it. I've got one here for you. I think you'll like this one. Hire a coach. Hey, look.
Oh, that's a great one.
Here's a plug. I know some good ones. But look, it doesn't have to be us. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Silver Edge. We do have the best coaches on the whole entire planet. If you're over 50,
we have the
looking
best
to
coaches.
build a lean.
Yes.
I say that in all honesty. I think we have the best over 50 planet, or probably the best coaches on the planet. I'm biased there, but no, it doesn't have to be us. But having a coach can really help with that motivation, because they can be encouraging when you need it. They can be that ass kicker when you need it. They can hold you accountable. They should have a plan, so they can take some of that confusion or analysis paralysis out of the equation. It's, nope, here's the framework, here's the plan, here's what I want you to do today. Forget all that silly stuff. This is what I want you to concentrate on. We're going to talk next week about what went well, what did you struggle with, and we're going to revise the game plan just a tiny bit, right, for next week to set you up for success. They'll help you celebrate your wins. When you have fallbacks, that are going to help you dissect that, not beat yourself up, and get back on the horse, right, so to speak. I think that, Monica, you will find this. If you're not close, if you don't grow close to your coach, you don't like your coach, especially, you may curse your coach at times. That's fine. That is acceptable. But you should grow to like your coach, and your coach should know your name, should know your spouse's name, do you have kids? Do you not have
Absolutely.
kids? There should be a relationship there, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
But having that relationship with a coach gives you that accountability, it gives you a plan, and it helps keep you motivated. So if that's something you haven't done in the past or haven't done in a while, and you're looking for just that little added something to help you stay in the game, stay motivated, buy 6 months worth of coaching. Go to your gym and buy a 12-month package, right? And I'm not saying a gym membership, because that's different, but by coaching, so that somebody, again, back to that, if you have a partner, if you have a coach at the gym and you're supposed to be there at 7 a.m. and you're not there, coach is texting you. Hey, Monica, what's going on?
Exactly.
The clock has started. Let's go, girl. We got to get warmed up. Hire a coach, I think, is a fabulous way to help stay motivated. And the things that you learn during that time, you'll have that for the rest of your life. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a great coaching team here at Silver Edge, and I would love to see many, many more people getting onto our rosters. But this is what I would tell people. You should have a coach that they absolutely love what they do for a living. So I tell my clients all the time, I think I have the best job in the world. I really do. I love my job. If you have a coach who doesn't feel that way, find another coach.
Get a new coach.
Get a new coach. Yeah, you should have someone who absolutely loves what they do. They love working with people. They celebrate in your successes. They help you to overcome all of these obstacles. They get you to where you fall in love with the process of getting you to your wellness place.
Oh, Monica, you stole my walkout song there. That's the one I wanted to end
did
on.
I?
Yes, you did. Yeah, but that's perfect. What a beautiful, very well said. What a beautiful segue. Yeah, folks, my final tip for staying motivated for the long haul is learning to fall in love with the process. This process of becoming and being the healthiest, happiest, fittest human you possibly can be. If you can find passion, if you can find joy, if you can find love in that process, that motivation well, that willpower well will always run over. In fact, it will spill over onto the people around you, right? Going back to what Monica was saying, your coach's enthusiasm, their passion should bleed over into you. You should want to work out. You should want to eat healthy because of your relationship with the coach, because it's infectious, right? Now, look, those of us, Monica, myself, Coach Russell, Coach Jess, we do this for a living. We're nutrition nerds. We're fitness fanatics. Most of you listening probably are not. But here's the good news. You don't need to be. You don't need to be. If you worked out for 45 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week in a good, well-structured program, and if you made healthy food choices most of the time, if you moved your body, you got out and got your steps, you got decent sleep, you stayed hydrated, you just worked on the basics, you would be amazed at the progress you could make. If you adopt that as a lifelong philosophy, as opposed to going on a crash diet and doing something kooky for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, whatever, or living miserably and low calorie, that's no wonder you don't have any motivation. That sucks. That's horrible. I wouldn't wish that on my enemies. And yet that's what most of us do when we want to lose weight, as opposed to, let me trade these fast, miraculous results. I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 2 months. No, let me lose 20 pounds in a year. Let me not worry about weight loss, and let me build muscle and burn fat.
Get yourself
stronger. Healthy. Yeah, and get myself metabolically healthy. The body composition will follow, I promise. And you have a better chance, if you become passionate about this, if you fall in love with this process of doing this for the rest of your life. I can't imagine not making healthy decisions every day for the rest of my life. I can't imagine what that would look like from where I sit now. But yet 15 years ago, I was the exact opposite. The life I'm living now probably would have seemed like pure hell. It's like, what? I'm going to have to work out all the time, and I'm not going to be able to drink every day, drink every night. I'm not going to be able to, do all these other very unhealthy, harmful for me things. And, I started just like most of you started. My story's not that different.
I started that way too.
Complete and total metabolic wreck. I was overweight. I was stressed. I was drinking a lot daily there kind of towards the end, and a health scare. And I started with extrinsic motivation. The doctor said, Kev, keep this up. You're a good candidate for a heart attack. I didn't want that to be me. I didn't want to be the 40-year-old dude who just everybody said, wow, did you hear about Kev? He just dropped dead from a heart attack. Wow, he's so young. That's such a shame. I didn't want to be that guy. So I started fear-based. I started extrinsically, negatively motivated, tried a whole bunch of stuff that didn't work, just like probably a lot of you have. And then over time, met some mentors, met some coaches, found my way to where I am now. And I can't imagine living any other way. I just can't. So that's where I wanted to leave folks with on this motivation is if you have to constantly go running to the motivation, well, you're doing something wrong, get that piece figured out, hit us up, let us know, join our Facebook group. Love to have a conversation there, see if we can't steer you right. But if you set yourself up correctly, there should always be water in that motivation well, and you should be able to get it whenever you want. You should be able to share it with your friends. It should overflow. What do you think, Monica?
Yes. I love that. I love that analogy. I'm going to start using that. I'm totally going to rip that off from you.
Go to the well, people. Yeah, but you got to keep it full.
Keep that motivation well filled.
Yeah,
because it will run dry. I guarantee you, it will run dry.
100%. Everybody knows.
Unless you keep refilling it little by little.
Keep refilling little by little. 100%. Yeah, got to keep that. Keep the motivation going. Well, here's where I want to leave this then. We have a couple of resources. So like I started this whole thing by saying, hey, I went into our Facebook group and I was looking at what do people say their biggest obstacle is. And lo and behold, I was really surprised that so many people said motivation or lack of willpower, or lack of motivation, lack of willpower. And so I went back and I looked, and way back when I first started this business, way back even before Monica, one of my first guides was, I think it's the Over 50 Guide to Motivation Mastery, I think is the title of it. And it's just a little 5-page guide, and it gives a couple quick tips. But after reading this, so this happened, Monica, about a month ago, I think I told you guys, hey, it's kind of surprising. People are telling us that they're not motivated. Yeah, it's probably about a month ago. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to revise that guide. But as I kind of pulled up that guide, I couldn't find, it's a PDF. I couldn't find the original Word doc to modify it. And I was like, I could probably copy and paste. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to write a whole nother guide. So we still have the Silver Edge Guide to Motivation Mastery. You can go to silveredgefree.com. That's if you just want a quick reference, a quick read, it's 5-6 pages, something like that. But I wrote another guide. As I got started, I couldn't stop. This is a 50-page tome. So this is a much bigger
Oh my
guide.
Gosh.
It's a PDF. I might find somebody to make an ebook for those of you that would rather read it on a Kindle or something.
That would be a good ebook.
Yeah, because at 50 pages, that's just a lot to scroll through on your computer or your phone. But it is a much bigger resource. That's called I titled that Over 50 Mojo Magic, Your Ultimate Motivation Guide.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
For those of you that have lost your mojo or feel like you just don't have that motivation and you're up for a more comprehensive guide, this talks about a lot of the things Monica and I went over, right? There are specific motivation tips for keeping your nutrition on point, for keeping your exercise on point, for mindset, for lifestyle, all of these things. So folks, all of that's over at silveredgefree.com. You can find that there. I will, of course, link that in the show notes. And this is episode 295, so that's silveredgefitness.com/295. You guys can find that there as well if you want, as well as some of the other resources we talked about.
So the new guide is already up on the website?
It's up. It's on the website. I tested it. It
up
worked.
And running?
I got my guide. So yeah,
all right.
Folks can go and check that out. So
I'll have to go download that today.
That's your motivation Bible, people.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I love it.
All right, folks. Well, Monica, what else? We want to wrap this up here?
I think that's all I had today, Kevin. Other than I have to apologize for my dog walking in and out. We're having a thunderstorm.
We are dog friendly here at Silver Edge. Yeah, if you're not dog friendly, get out.
Poor dog was in and out, and behind me, I was having to reach down and pet her.
Yeah, we got some thunder.
She gets very scared
in the background. I don't know if people can hear that. Probably not.
Yeah, I think you just heard a couple on there. So
it's rumbling outside. All right, folks. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and on behalf of myself, Coach Monica, and the rest of us here at the Silver Edge, stay strong.
Bye, guys.
Okay, that's our show for today, folks. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I want to let you know that we have other free resources over at silveredgefree.com. There you'll find our free guides with our top tips on nutrition, exercise, and healthy lifestyle to assist you in your weight loss and fitness journey. So feel free to head over there and download anything that looks useful to you. I'll put links to everything we talked about in the show notes. You folks can find those over at silveredgefitness.com/295. As we wrap up our time together today, you can show your support for this show in two important ways. The first is to tell a friend about this podcast and encourage them to give it a listen. The second is for you YouTube folks to please click the like and subscribe buttons, and for you podcast folks to please give this podcast a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, and be sure to subscribe and follow so you don't miss any future episodes. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today, and until next time, stay strong.